Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Monday morning, the 26th of February, and we're sticking with the Audrii Cunningham case today, the 11-year-old little girl who was brutally murdered by her grandma and dad's lodger. I don't know if he was paying rent or what, but he was living in a camper on their property. He'd known the family for a long time. He'd lived there for at least a year, according to reports. He sometimes took her to the bus stop. It was only half a mile down the road, but sometimes he took her. Sometimes he took her to school if she was running late, allegedly. But this day, he had other plans, and he murdered her brutally. Yeah, all right, everyone's innocent till proven guilty in a court of law, but come on, this guy did it. This guy did it. It's out of Livingston, Texas, of course, and if you're following the case, you'll know that Tim Miller from Equisearch and his sonar equipment found Audri's body swirling around in the fast-flowing Trinity River off Highway 59 South. Her body had been weighted down by a rock, and her body, hanging on the end of a rope, was swirling around. The backpack was found by the side of the river. Her pants were found by the side of the river, according to Tim Miller. They knew where he'd been. The probable cause affidavit is very clear. They've got surveillance footage of locations that he went to, and they've got cell phone tracking data. So I think this guy is banged to rights. He's had an arraignment. Unusually, the body cam has been released. It's only a minute or so of footage, and I'm guessing that a lot of you will have seen this by now. This was released by ABC News, but I want to play it because I want to comment on it. And look, I want to know what his early life was like. I'm trying to at least have some understanding of this guy's psyche. He's had an all adult life of criminality, some of it minor, lots of drugs, some assaults, crime against a child, which was pled down to enticing a child, which isn't a sexual offence. He wasn't on any register. But what made him like this? And he's just having a laugh. He's having a laugh with this jailer here. Let's watch.
We got Steven McDougal, Don McDougal. We're going to get him out to get a ring.
So here, he's in bed without any clothes on.
Come on. JP wants to talk to you. Where's your clothes? Hold on. Well, put your smock on for that. Well, come on out here. No, man. You come on, man. Don't disrespect me like that. All right, well, wrap up in that. Wrap up in the blanket. Come on. Come on.
Look at him smirking. Just carrying on chatting.
The right to remain silent, not make any statement at all, and know that any statement that you make can and will be used against you at trial in court. You have the right to have an attorney present to advise you prior to or during the questioning. You have the right to terminate any interview at any time, and you have the right to examine your trial if you're accused of a felony. Do you understand your rights, Mr. McDougal?
Yep.
Okay. Do you want a court-appointed attorney, or you gonna hire your own?
Nope.
Which one?
I'll be an attorney.
You gonna hire your own?
Yep.
All right. All I need you to do is sign right here for me. Your charge is capital murder, and it's a no bond.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So he kept saying to the jailer there, who was very patient with him. I don't think I would have been so patient. But he said, I ain't wearing no dress. I ain't wearing no dress. They're obviously giving him a smock to wear. He's just being awkward. Maybe he just likes being naked. Is he a nudist? Now, Audri's family have released a statement to the press. So this is the first time that they've spoken out. And by family, I mean grandma and dad. I'm guessing that perhaps they've had some help in crafting this. I don't know that I believe everything in here. And again, you've probably seen this by now, but I want to give my 2 penneth. So I'm going to read the press release and I'm going to comment throughout. 1 week ago, on Thursday, 15th of February, Audrii Danielle Cunningham was lured under false pretences, which led to a senseless act of violence occurring and ultimately to her death. Tragically, Audri's death occurred at the hands of a monster we thought was a friend. only 10 days after Audri's 11th birthday. They thought he was a friend. We've seen his ridiculous behaviour in the jail there. I'm not wearing no dress. I'm not wearing no dress. Was there no warning signs at all? Did they know nothing about this guy's past? I don't know that I believe that, because he was a very close friend. Went on vacation with him, went dining with them, went to festivals with dads, Joshua. I don't know that I believe that there weren't any warning signs, but surely in their wildest dreams they wouldn't have expected that somebody who was a close friend would go on to commit something so heinous. Audri's cause of death was blunt force head trauma. So he'd hit her over the head with something, whether it's his fists, whether it's the rock that he ultimately weighted her body down with, whether it's something else, we don't know. Perhaps the autopsy will reveal potentially the type of instrument that was used. Sometimes it's possible based on the nature of the injuries, but sometimes it isn't. Anyway, let me carry on. Audrii Cunningham was a charismatic, beautiful, talented and kind young lady. You can tell that by her pictures. She loved singing, dancing, reading and painting. She was even learning the skill of a tattoo artist. Now, there's been a lot of pushback on social media about the video that people found of her doing some tattooing. I don't know that I have a particular problem with it. Honestly, if somebody's willing to let an 11-year-old, or maybe a 10-year-old at the time, tattoo their body, well, that's up to them, isn't it? If she was having a tattoo, I'd have a problem with that. But if somebody's willing to let her do it, then I don't know. Touching a grown man's body, I guess, yeah, I see that it's given everything that's happened. We don't know who that man is, but I don't know that I have a massive problem with it. Anyway, most of all, caring and playing with animals was her passion. Audri's aspirations was to become a veterinarian or an animal trainer. Oh, that was what I wanted to do when I was little as well. Every day, Audri was out caring for our pets and walking our dogs. She would even walk the dogs of neighbours in the subdivision. She touched so many lives and filled them with joy and happiness that was infectious. She had so much energy and brought a passion to everything she did. Audri will be missed by a great many people. The Munch and Cunningham families are devastated and grieving for what happened to our little ray of sunshine, Audri. We are being attacked and criticised on social media platforms for showing compassion and mercy to this formerly incarcerated person. But our interactions with this person were a result of our faith, which teaches us to give our fellow man a second chance. Listen, I'm all for giving people a second chance, but again, weren't there no warning signs that this guy was a creeper? I don't know. Maybe he's just very good at luring people into a false sense of security. Maybe he really is that good. But given that he'd lived there in such close proximity, the PCA says he had access to the interior of the home. So living in a camper, it wasn't something that he just happened to be living on the property as a lodger. He was a very close family friend. No warning signs. I don't know that I believe it. Unfortunately, the system failed us due to a loophole in the sex offender registration system. Don Steven McDougal had a history of disrespect for young female children. I wouldn't consider SA disrespect. If that girl had not fought back, stood up to him, something much more heinous than pulling her pants down might have happened. And when she spoke to the news, I played the clip in a previous video, she said it could have been me, and she broke down crying. And that was 2007 to 2024. Given that that girl in 2007 was 10, and it seems a very similar MO to some of his other assaults, like blunt force injury, I wonder whether there's more child victims, whether he's done this before, wormed his way into a family. Maybe people will come forward to the cops. Maybe there'll be more charges now that he's got the world's media on him. His shenanigans are going to be under scrutiny now. Right, jail phone calls, jail interactions become public record once the case is over. So it'd be interesting and probably alarming to see this guy as his true self. He did not show up when we checked the registry before allowing him to stay in an old camper in our backyard while he tried to start a new life. Again, I think he's done this before. I think they were gullible. There's people coming out who knew Tabitha Munch, that's Grandma, saying that she's very trusting. She's kind of mentally, maybe a bit immature mentally. And she is very, very gullible, very trusting. And these predators prey on this type of person. I've known people in my life who have got this kind of mental immaturity and they just think everyone's a friend. And bad things have happened to them as well. I have one particular story. I'm not going to share the details online, but this very trusting person and her daughter ended up being inappropriately touched. Police got involved. It happens a lot. As I said in a video the other day, please, if Audri's life meant anything, let her be the light that warns other parents to protect your children and your grandchildren from predators. Don't trust anyone. And then they go on to thank people. So the Polk County Sheriff's Office, Livingston Police Department, Texas State Troopers, Texas Rangers, Texas State Guard, the Trinity River Authority, the FBI, and nearby county sheriff's departments, as well as thousands of volunteers. Our local VFW post and the public for helping to search for and ultimately find the body of Audri. We also wish to thank the non-profit organisation Texas EquiSearch for their tireless efforts that ultimately led to the discovery of and recovery of Audri's body from the waters of the Trinity River. This was a hard-working, multi-jurisdictional effort that spent long hours in order to bring our angel Audri home to us and bring this monster to justice. Well, justice hasn't happened yet. Hopefully, this guy will plead guilty. Hopefully, he won't try to say he didn't do it. I rather suspect he might. But if he's got any ounce of compassion at all, he won't put the family through a trial. I rather suspect he will. I hope I'm wrong. We wish to acknowledge and thank members of the press who helped spread the word when the Amber Alert went out and quickly pulled our community together with the common goal of bringing our little girl back home safe and sound. This coverage was considered invaluable to help focus attention and gather valuable leads that helped the search efforts. We were advised not to speak with the press during this time as it may have impeded the search for Audri or shifted the focus from finding her. Okay. Appeals when a child is missing. Don't families do appeals? You know, please come home or please bring her home. No? That's not a thing anymore? Okay. Audrii Danielle Cunningham will be missed but hopefully not forgotten, as we would like to ask legislatory and law enforcement both locally and in Washington DC to look at the loophole that prevented us from knowing what Don McDougal was, a convicted sex offender. The Sex Offender Registry is a valuable tool that parents and grandparents everywhere use to keep their children safe from these violent predators. This failing of the system is a crime that we cannot allow to go overlooked. I agree totally. Did they really check the registry though? Did they? So it goes on to talk about the memorial service, 1st of March 2024, between the hours of 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then there's a private funeral service the next day. And if you want to drop off flowers, there's the information. Or you want to donate. And everything left over will go to Texas EquiSearch and later to other organisations. Again, we'd like to thank everybody who was involved in the search for Audri, and we hope you will do the same for others going forward. God bless y'all, and God bless the children. Yeah, so their faith led them to give this absolute creeper a second chance. That's what they say. Maybe it's true. But please, don't let your faith misguide you into thinking that everyone is a friend. Because the predators out there prey on the gullible. And unfortunately, in this case, the most extreme act of violence happened that ended this little beautiful girl's life. I hope they lock this guy up forever. I hope that he's on death row. I hope that he never, ever, ever gets the chance to abuse anyone ever again. He's a creeper. He's a lowlife. He's the worst of the worst. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Sit. Noodle. Go. Noodle. Good boy. Good girl.